Welcome to the third presidential debate, brought to you by the Commission on Presidential Debates. Please welcome out our candidates. Mr. Trump.
Say the name.
Excuse me?
She won't say the name, and President Obama won't say the name. You have to say the name.
The Donald?
Yes.
All right. Over the course of the past week, how many women would you say have accused you of sexual assault?
3 or 4 or 5 or something. 33,000.
Secretary Clinton, how do you feel about the fact that the mainstream media is reporting any claim against Donald Trump as true without doing any due diligence, regardless of how ridiculous the claims may be, while also ignoring the claims against your husband, which actually have substance behind them?
It is sort of amusing.
I'm sure it is. Mr. Trump, I'm not going to condemn you on those claims. I'm going to wait for evidence to come in. However, all of America has had to listen to the vulgar statements you made on that bus back in 2005. Would you like to start off the debate by apologizing to America?
Apologizing.
Secretary Clinton, if elected president, what's one thing the American people will never ever have to worry about you doing?
Taking classified information seriously.
Mr. Trump, some people are calling what you described on that video recording as sexual assault. What would you call it?
A sneak attack.
What about the Constitution, Secretary Clinton? What are you going to do with the Constitution if elected president?
Rip it up and throw it away.
Mr. Trump,
Say the name.
The Donald? What's the first thing you'll do if elected president?
Check out a sex tape.
Just like any other night at the house, right?
Right?
Secretary Clinton, complete this sentence. On her wedding night, the bride will finally lose her virginity to?
There are a lot of refugees.
Because of your plan to destabilize the country by causing cultural clash through forced immigration?
Exactly.
Secretary Clinton, as a teenager, what was the first car you ever drove?
Aleppo.
Staying with you, Ms. Clinton, what do you love to see more than anything else in the world?
Children suffering.
Mr. Trump?
The name.
I'm not going to keep saying it. Describe your hair in 2 words or less.
Acid washed.
Who cuts it for you?
Superdelegates and Deborah Wasserman Schultz.
Secretary Clinton, complete this sentence. Michelle Obama is currently...
Muslim.
No. The correct answer is First Lady. Staying here with you, Ms. Clinton, what did you do years ago when you first found out about the women who are accusing your husband of sexual assault and rape?
Insulted and attacked them for weeks.
Donald, some people say you don't really want to win the presidency. Is this true? Do you want to be president?
I don't think so.
Secretary Clinton, what's the one thing you always say to your staffers right before sending them out into the field to finish an important job?
No evidence.
Mr. Trump, what's your favorite dining experience?
Medieval times. And yes, I'm very embarrassed by it. I hate it.
Secretary Clinton, this next
And
question...
guess what?
What?
Tweeting happens to be a modern day form of communication.
Thank you. Ms. Clinton, where did you first meet your husband, Bill?
Adopted him from Ethiopia when he was a toddler.
Mr. Trump, what'd you write on the spine of your best friend's yearbook at the end of the 8th grade?
Never change, and she never will change.
Trump, word association. What's the first thing that pops in your mind when you hear the words white people?
The Bernie Sanders race.
Secretary Clinton, there's a rumor that you and your husband had a nickname for Monica Lewinsky when you were in the White House. What was that nickname?
The slot.
That's horrible. Mr. Trump, what does a haircut sound like?
Clip, fraud.
I don't know about that last part. Secretary Clinton, how do you keep the public so blind to your criminal activity despite all the evidence?
Propaganda.
And what does your propaganda strategy depend on?
Big diversion.
Mr. Trump, in the recently released movie Batman vs. Superman, Batman appears alongside of Superman and what other superhero?
Wonderful woman.
Ms. Clinton, who was your first boyfriend?
Abraham Lincoln.
Donald, who was your first girlfriend?
Abraham Lincoln.
We're down to our final question of the evening. I want to thank our candidates for participating. The final question goes to you, Mr. Trump. Complete this often spoken sentence that just as often goes ignored by those who hear it. I met Bill Clinton today, and then I...
was raped.
All right. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight's debate has been brought to you by the Commission on Presidential Debates. We'll see you next time.